Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a 2023 Supercross video. Hey man, A1 was exciting. A1 was really exciting. It was so much fun. Man, I was in the stands, and I'm glad I went. I'm definitely glad I went. Me and my dad got to go. Super great race. Starting with even the heat races were good. Practice was wild. People were over jumping and coming up short, and just a lot of mistakes were to be made in this. The track was super gnarly. 250s was amazing. Jet looks like the guy to beat. I mean, everyone kind of predicted it. 450s, it looks like Tomac could go on an epic run here. He looks good. Gate was down. Colt gets a great start. Barcia gets a good start on the inside. Ends up taking the lead. Colt gets shuffled back quick. You have Barcia out front, Tomac in second, and then it was Ken Roczen, and then Malcolm was there, and then Sexton was there on a couple videos I was watching, just to kind of remember, because I don't remember that well in my head. Barcia was able to lead a couple of laps, and then Tomac was able to get around. When Tomac got around, I didn't think Barcia could. He was kind of holding the field up a little bit. The track was super gnarly, right? So I don't think he felt comfortable on the bike, and he even talked about doing a lot of changes all day. Tomac gets around Barcia. Right after the whoop section, that 90, Barcia comes in, on, off, comes up short. When he comes up short, he feet off the pegs, launched off the side of the track, and just, it was pretty freaking gnarly. That was a real exciting moment in the race, obviously with him just losing first, and then under jumping, feet off the pegs, launching off the track. You know, it was a gnarly section, and if you lose your thought process for a second in that straightaway and the following straightaway, it wasn't good for you. Tomac takes over the lead, and then Malcolm works his way up into second. Again, tough track. As soon as Malcolm was able to get around Ken Roczen, he wasn't able to jump the finish line, and then Sexton got around him as well. And Tomac comes around a couple more laps, and the running order is Eli, Malcolm, Chase, Kenny. And that's when I thought Tomac is just going to check out, and Malcolm's going to try to, keep him in sight and hopefully hold off Chase Sexton. And then this happens. Over the table, just before the whoop section, after the previous short whoop section and the finish line, Tomac goes down. Said he got on the back end of the bike, got a little off center, and he goes down, letting pretty much everybody by. Right here you've got you had Sexton already go by, you had Malcolm go by for first, and in the stands, when this happened, I just happened to look over because I was watching everybody come over the finish, and I said, oh, Kenny couldn't do it, and Sexton got over. In the heat of the moment, Kenny couldn't do the finish, Sexton passed him. Bow. Sexton to third, Kenny back to fourth. And then, for some reason, I panned over, and I saw Tomac coming over with this gnarly scrub. And I was like, he's not jumping it. He's going down. And my dad's there with me, and I grab my dad, and I'm like, Tomac's down! And I swear I'm like the first dude in the stadium that sees this, because I'm loud, and I shook my dad, and I was like, Malcolm to first! Malcolm's gonna win! I was super hyped for Malcolm right then, and I did pick Malcolm, as you guys probably saw in a previous video, to win A1. A1 is a wild race. A lot of things go on at A1. A lot of guys that win there that don't normally win races, aka Barcia. I know Kenny's good there as well. So I see that happen, and I'm like, man, he's going to go win the race. And then a little bit later in the race, it's right here actually, Malcolm goes to the inside, and he's right here. He hasn't been doing the inside much all race. He was kind of going outside and on-offing this. On-off right here. This is on to the off the table. And then he was tripling the middle and quadding into the corner. Well, on this particular one, I believe he over jumps this inside. Obviously not taking it all night. Really. Much at least. And I think he over jumps this, which doesn't allow him to do the triple very well, which then doesn't allow him to quad the corner. Sexton outside, he on-offs, and he's able to quad into the corner. As you see, Malcolm didn't hug the inside either. He kind of maintained his line, not knowing how close Sexton is, making a slight mistake. You don't want to even just try to get over just in case you might get landed on or something. Sexton goes for the full shebang. And then when they get into this corner up here, Sexton decides, and he said he couldn't stop, but he decides to just kind of dink Malcolm a little bit, and Malcolm goes off the track here, as you see on this next clip here. With Malcolm off the track, he's just, fixing the bike. They definitely hit bars. The lever there, he's hitting it up, and he travels all the way down the track, gets back on, and then from there, it's kind of like, salvage mode. Let's hang on a second. Tomac, after his crash, starts coming back, of course, and he passes Malcolm. And then I thought Sexton was going to check out, and he wasn't checking out. And at this time, you had Cooper Webb coming up through the pack, and Ferrandis coming up through the pack, Marvin Barsha battling back and forth, and Chase makes this mistake right here in the rhythm section. And on this rhythm section mistake, it allows Tomac and Stewart to catch back up. And in this section, for 1 second, you just take your mind off it. You overjump or you underjump or something happens, you're not able to triple all the way through. Both Stewart and Tomac were able to. And they get over to the finish line jump, and this is where Tomac makes his move. Sexton wasn't riding very well. I know he's faster than what he was showing. Tomac reeled him in. He was making mistakes. He was probably riding pretty tight. The track was gnarly, like I said. Here, Tomac is going to come over the finish line. He's going to come to the inside. He's just going to take first from him. The next thing we run into is the whoops. He makes the pass. Right here is where Tomac had just made the pass back there at the finish line, and Sexton is now trying to kind of just hold on here. He pimped Malcolm off the track in the corner up ahead, so that's probably kind of running through his mind, knowing that Malcolm's right there, and Malcolm is ready to pounce. And on the next one, you see Malcolm's bike flipping. So what happens here is Chase does something, and I'm not sure what it was, but he comes up short on this on-off. He doesn't get to the off part quite yet, but on the on, he comes up short. So the whole rhythm down the lane is going to be trash. And Malcolm's coming from the outside again, and he's going to on-off with a lot of momentum. And something happens on the off where he loses all forward momentum, and his bike goes flipping around. Wild race. I was devastated because I thought it was going to be a great race coming to the end with Malcolm. Not saying it wasn't still a great race, but with Malcolm coming in, going to take advantage of Sexton making mistakes, and here he is on the ground. Next, this was wild. I see no flagger on the track, and I see a downed rider, and I'm sure flags are probably waving, right? Kenny here passes him, and Malcolm actually gets up dead last, but he does still go around the track. So hopefully he is just banged up, and we'll be back for round 2. I'm excited for it. Tomac takes the lead and takes the win. In here, you're not going to see much, but Webb does pass Sexton for second. Great ride by Webb. It looks like he's back. The KTMs looked good. Webb looked really good. Surprised me. Sexton didn't look good at the end. And Plessinger, who I thought was going to have a really good ride, who was looking good in his heat race, didn't pan out in the main. So that kind of hurt as well. That is round 1. Again, probably the best race I've ever been to. You had Barsha leading, You had Colt get the whole shot, Barsha lead, then Eli. Then Eli goes down. Then it's Malcolm. That's 3 leaders already. Multiple laps led, each of them. And then Malcolm gets pimped off the track. Sexton leads some laps. And just wild. And then come back, Eli. Man, he's going to be hard to beat this year.